Hey everyone, welcome to this explainer. Have you ever thought about how an ancient mathematical system, originally used to map the stars in the night sky, is literally the exact same math we use to perfectly navigate the physical rooms we live in? We all kind of take the grid for granted when we pull up a map or use our phone's GPS, right? But as we're going to see today, visualizing our space as a mathematical grid is hands down one of the most powerful and practical tools humanity has ever developed.
To really wrap our heads around this, our agenda today will cover four main areas. We'll start with the ancient roots of grids, then break down the Cartesian coordinate system, look at an amazing real-world application in navigating through tactile maps, and wrap up by calculating distance in 2D space.
All right, let's jump right into Section 1, the ancient roots of grids.
You know, a lot of folks think René Descartes just woke up one day in his 17th century European study and invented coordinate geometry completely out of thin air. But the truth is, the roots of grid thinking go back thousands of years. This whole concept evolved globally over millennia. Way back in the Sindhu-Sarasvati civilization, massive urban grids were already a reality. I mean, they were constructing city streets with striking precision, running north-south and east-west exactly 10 meters apart. Later on, by the 4th century BCE, the ancient city of Ujjayini was actually serving as the prime meridian for measuring longitude. But the real game changer? That happened in 628 CE, when Brahmagupta formalized the concept of zero and negative numbers. Without those two crucial pieces, our modern grid literally wouldn't exist. Finally, centuries later in 1637, Descartes came along and brought it all together by formally using algebra to pinpoint locations on a 2D plane.
Moving right along to Section 2, the Cartesian coordinate system.
So let's lay down the tracks and define our space. The absolute most important rule to remember is that everything starts at the origin. Think of it as the ultimate "you are here" reference marker on a mall map. It's the exact point where our horizontal line, the x-axis, intersects with our vertical line, the y-axis. Its coordinates are simply 0, 0. And you can see right away how heavily this whole mathematical plane relies on Brahmagupta's ancient invention of zero to anchor the entire thing.
When those two axes cross, they neatly slice our 2D space into four specific areas, which we call quadrants. And the way it works is just wonderfully logical. Up in Quadrant 1, both your x and y values are positive. If we move counterclockwise over to Quadrant 2, your x becomes negative, but your y stays positive. Drop down into Quadrant 3, and boom, both x and y are negative. Finally, slide over to Quadrant 4, and you're back to a positive x, but a negative y. You're assigning these values purely based on whether you take a step left, right, up, or down from that central 0, 0 origin point.
To see exactly how this works in practice, let's look at point G. Because it sits straight down on the vertical y-axis, its x-coordinate is 0, and its y-coordinate is exactly negative 4.5. Or look over at point B on the right side of the x-axis. It's perfectly plotted at 4.5, 0. It just goes to show how precise this system really is. You can pinpoint the exact location of literally anything in 2D space using just two simple numbers.
All right, Section 3, navigating through tactile maps. Let's bring this abstract math down to a deeply human level.
Let's look at an incredibly brilliant real-world application of this. Imagine moving to a brand new house, but you have a visual impairment. That is exactly the challenge a student named Rian was facing. So, to help him out, his sister Shalini used the coordinate geometry she was learning in school to build him a tactile grid map. Using a scale of 1 centimeter to 1 foot, she mapped out his new bedroom, using pins and thick wool to mark the bathing area, his bed, and the wardrobe. This setup allowed Rian to actually feel the directions and distances with his fingers, completely demystifying his totally unfamiliar new environment. It's just amazing!
By simply dropping the layout of his room onto our mathematical grid, Shalini made the whole space perfectly measurable. By treating the bottom left corner of the room as the origin point, 0, 0, the edges of the bed, the wardrobe, the doors, they all suddenly become precise, locatable coordinates. The right wall lines up perfectly at an x-coordinate of 12. The wardrobe starts right at x equals 3. She basically translated the messy physical world into beautifully structured, actionable data.
Now I want you to picture your own room right now. Put your origin point in the bottom left corner and ask yourself how coordinates can instantly solve spatial problems for you. Take a look at the room's main door on the right, labeled R1. The wall itself ends at an x-coordinate of 12. If the door R1 starts at 11.5, that means the door is only half a foot wide. So, is that wide enough for a wheelchair to easily get through? Absolutely not. Just by glancing at the coordinates, we instantly identified a major accessibility issue before we even picked up a tape measure.
Which brings us to our final part, Section 4, Calculating Distance in 2D.
Now, counting the grid lines is easy enough to find straight lengths, like the width of a door or the side of a wardrobe. But what happens when we need to cut diagonally across the room? Like, imagine Ryan needs to walk a straight, diagonal path from his bed to the bathroom door. How on earth do we find the exact distance of the shortest path between 2 points floating anywhere in 2D space if they don't neatly follow our horizontal or vertical lines?
Well, enter the distance formula, and we solve this by reaching back into ancient geometry again, specifically the Baudiana-Pythagoras theorem. It's actually a really clever trick. By measuring the horizontal shift along the x-axis and the vertical shift along the y-axis, we can basically imagine a hidden right-angled triangle connecting our 2 points. Once we figure out the length of the base and the height, we can calculate the exact diagonal distance, the hypotenuse.
Let's look at points A and D to see how beautifully simple this is. Point A sits at 3, 4. Point D is over at 7, 1. All we have to do is subtract the x values to find our horizontal shift. 7 minus 3 gives us a base of 4 units. Then, subtract the y values. 4 minus 1 gives us a vertical shift of 3 units. Now, plug those into our theorem. 4 squared is 16 plus 3 squared, which is 9. That equals 25. And the square root of 25 is exactly 5. So the exact diagonal distance between A and D is 5 units. We just completely solved the diagonal mystery.
To wrap things up today, I really want to leave you with a profound thought to ponder. Think back to our ancient timeline for a second. What would this whole coordinate system look like if negative numbers just didn't exist? Without Brahmagupta's monumental invention of zero and negative numbers, literally half of our world and our entire Cartesian plane would simply vanish from the map. We would only ever be able to measure upwards and to the right. So the next time you're looking at the layout of a room, checking a city map, or staring up at the stars, I